You are now listening to the Vitalize Podcast. Hey, yo, what up, family? Welcome back to the Vitalize Podcast. You're here with your friendly neighborhood host, Mr. Marcus Black, and I'm so incredibly excited, elated, ecstatic, and all the other words that start with E to just let you know I'm happy to be in your presence today, man. I feel good. I feel good. Good. Well, I feel good. Oh, yes. Because there's something. All right, let me stop, man. I feel good. If you can't tell, some of y'all joined in with me. Some of y'all, if you know. If you know that song, some of y'all was in there because you feel good too. And I'm glad to say that I feel good. I'm super excited right now, man. My life is crazy, but in the greatest way, right? You ever had moments where you just reflect and you're like, dang, I don't know how we got here. Or I do know how we got here. Nevertheless, I'm incredibly grateful. And I want to talk to you guys about something that's near and dear to my heart at this moment. And this is one of them ones. So you definitely want to lean in. So if you have not, man, make sure that you tap subscribe on YouTube, please. I would appreciate it. I'm definitely putting an emphasis on growing that community there, as well as if you see me on IG, hit that follow, man. Tap in because you can. If you see me on TikTok, follow your boy because you can. Spotify, Apple, anywhere podcasts are. Go leave a rating and a review, man. Let me know you did. I might send something your way. Maybe a shirt, a book. I don't know. Just go do it because you can, and I'll figure out something that I can send out. Matter of fact, I know what I can send out. I sure do. But you just go do it, and you'll find out how we can put that in motion. But nevertheless, thank you for being here. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the support. You know, I was actually going back here recently, and I was just scrolling all the way back to season 1 of the Vitalize Podcast, and I was listening early on, and not only is the vibe totally different, like my confidence was different, the way I communicate was just a different world, right? But I was trying to figure out at what point did I find myself? At what point did I feel comfortable enough to sit on these incredibly high def cameras and this incredibly high profile microphone to share my heart and my soul with you guys fully, wholly, unapologetically? At what point did that become my reality? And so somewhere in the middle of season 1, toward the end of season 1, that's where it came about. But I think from episode 2 ever was the first time I said, welcome back to the Vitalize Podcast. You're here with your friendly neighborhood host. I kind of said it like that. You're here with your friendly neighborhood host, Marcus Black. You know, now it's like, yay, you're here with your friendly neighborhood host, Mr. Marcus Black. It's a different energy, right? But it's because I'm different. It's because my journey's taking me to a different place, and I'm grateful for the journey as I look back over that. So that's neither here nor there. I just wanted to share that with you guys. If you're new here, just show you a little bit of the journey. This is season 6. I thank you for rocking with the guy. I thank you for whoever invited you here. Here's what I promise you. I will never waste your time ever, and I'll never bore you. I'm going to definitely hit you with some tips, tactics, strategies to level up your life, and ultimately vitalize means to give life to, which is what your boy is here to do. So I'm here to be life-giving in a world that is often not. Quite the contrary, actually. So if you're with me in this community, you're going to find love, peace, hope, positivity, all those things that build you up. Inspiration, motivation, affirmation. That's what we all about all day. So as you guys know, I have been living in the great state of Oklahoma for a very long time. And actually since 2008 to be exact. So yeah, man, that's a long time. 2008 is coming up on 20 years, man. That's wild that I've been in Oklahoma that long, like nearly half of my life. That's kind of insane to think about. But it's been an incredible ride. Lots of beautiful relationships, lots of beautiful people. Even like this, everything that I am was birthed here. Everything, my book that you guys heard me talk about recently, Asleep at the Wheel, was created right here, birthed right here, from a publisher right here. My kids were born right here. I was married, engaged and married to my beautiful bride right here. My degrees were earned, all with the exception of one, right here. One was earned in the great state of Texas. Shout out to Southwestern Christian College. Others here, right here. Wife's degrees right here. Vows exchanged right here. It's a very journey of introspection, as I think about this journey and what it's been. And, you guys have been rocking with me for 6 seasons. Some of y'all are new here, welcome. But those of you who have been around or have gone back and caught up and kind of binged some of the seasons have seen my full journey. You've watched me go from an afraid, scared young man to a fully confident world changer in every sense of the term, out here as a leader at the forefront of creating hope in the world. You watched that happen right before your eyes, and you've heard me tell horror stories of my life. You heard me tell nightmarish stories from my own life. And as I sit here, I'm like, yo, a lot of those nightmares happened. They took place right here in a great state of Oklahoma, And as I think through all of that, it's kind of remarkable to see what one is able to become with the right level of attention, with the right level of intention, with the right level of fortitude, with the right level of perseverance, with the right level of passion, and with the right community surrounding them. What you can become is astronomical. And so as I reflect here, having this moment of introspection, I feel overwhelmed almost. Literally just almost lost it, man. I had to cling to it, had to hold it together. Not that I mind, because I cry in front of y'all. I heard it said by Life Jennings that crying is like taking your soul to the laundromat. And every once in a while, you just need a good cleanse, right? And I definitely feel that right now. But I am now surprised I had made a decision. I say surprise. Some of y'all was like, boy, we've been knowing. But some of y'all didn't know. So for some of you, this is your first awareness that my journey in Oklahoma has officially ended. And now my watch has ended. Shout out to the GOT fans. Now my watch has ended. And it has become time for me to go home. And some of you might ask, where is home? Well, home is the Mid-South, and it really is an incredible place, but also it's like multiple places. Hard to describe where I'm from. I was born in Memphis, Tennessee, in the heart of soul, rock and roll, and R&B, right there in Memphis, Tennessee. And I grew up just across the border in Mississippi. And so Northwest Mississippi was my home. Memphis, Tennessee was also my home. That whole corridor of the Mid-South, that's my home. And now it's time for me to go home. And as you see me sitting here, some of you are listening to me as you jog, ride, drive, however you're taking this information in. I'm appreciative of you. But to those of you who are watching this on YouTube, shout out to the community. You see this beautiful, vibrant, because you can hoodie that I am adorned in right now. And this is actually the official color of my home. Now, there's some people who is in Mississippi that's like, they like that ugly red and blue stuff because they cheer for a school called Old Mississippi. We affectionately call that school up north. We don't even refer to them as Old Mississippi. To us, they're just that school up north. Literally, T-Son is what we call them. But the real ones know what time it is, and this is definitely, I am adorned in the colors of the Mississippi State Bulldogs, which is a part of me, has been ever since I was a small kid, watching them on Saturdays. And someday dreaming of myself going to that university and wearing these colors and showing up and just being there. And, I bring this up as a lighthearted transition into where I'm taking you. But when I see these colors, it reminds me of home. When I see the color maroon and white, some people are like, oh, it's just a football team. Oh, it's just a college. But for me, it was more. For me as a kid, it was hope. For me as a kid, it was joy. And sometimes they weren't very joyful on a Saturday when I could turn on the TV and I could see a kid by the name of Nakia Greer, who was one of the all-time leading rushers for Mississippi State, who literally I watched play in high school as a very small child in my hometown of Mississippi. Like, to watch this kid go from a high school I watched him play at, the high school in which I graduated from, to seeing him on television on Saturday as a little kid hoping for something greater. There was nothing bigger and greater than that. And it meant everything to me. So when I wear these colors, it means something different to me. This is the color of home to me. This is hope for me. And now that I have affectionately taken my family, I have moved them home physically. I've taken them from Oklahoma and moved back home to the place where my journey began so that I can fight for an entirely new generation and an entirely new demographic of people placing roots, planting roots, and giving back to the place that made me, the very place that often tried to break me. I will now go back and I will allow it to continue to make me as I continue to build up and serve the greater good and others. And nothing means more to me than having an opportunity to do that with my boys surrounded by so much love and care and family. And I mean, it's just so many things, right? But ultimately, what I'm telling you is a boy had to leave and had to go into the world and had to find himself and had to go through all types of perilous tales, all types of situations, circumstances, and adversities, all types of adventures, of highs, mountain highs, valley lows, in order to find myself back to the roots in the place where it all started. And that is the centerpiece of the conversation I want to have with you today, because while I am relocating and going home physically, while I'm headed home, I brought my family and we're home now. The conversation I want to have with you today is about you going home. But I'm not talking about a physical place, an abode, a place in which you go, four walls in which you choose to lay your head. I'm not talking about an address, a street, a state, a community, a culture. I'm talking today about returning home to you. You see, whether you realize it or not, you were born into this world with these big, massive, monumental dreams. And you were born into this world a unique masterpiece. You were born into this world a unique masterpiece on a specific mission to do something that only you could do. And you know that. But what happens is life is hard. Matter of fact, chapter 2 in my book, I wrote, it's a hard knock life. It's a hard knock life for us. It's a hard knock life for us. Instead of treated, we get tricked. Instead of kisses, we get kicked. It's a hard knock life. And many of you know exactly what I'm talking about. You can resonate with the difficulty. I know just when I gave that little bitty snippet of that song, your mind went to the pain that you experienced. Your mind went to the abuse that you experienced. Your mind went to the trauma that you experienced. Your mind went to all the different things that tried to break and hold you back from who you were meant to be. And you come to the realization that it's a hard knock life. It really is. But, when life throws those haymakers at you and presents you with such hard situations and circumstances, you're left with a choice to make. And the choice that you're left to make is who you hope to be, who you aspire to become. The choice you have to make is, which route will you take in this life? Will you take the common road that leads to sadness, that leads to pain, that leads to anxiety, that leads to depression, that leads to literal insanity by choosing to do the same things again and again and again and again while expecting a different result? Is that what type of time we on? Or will you take the other road? And by the other road, I mean the road less traveled. That is the road back to you. You see, when I say it's time to come home to you, because I know it's a hard knock life, what happens often is we get so disheartened by the state of the world, and we get so bogged down by the weight of the circumstances around us, and we get so distracted by the chaos of the world in which we live. We slowly start to lose ourselves. Matter of fact, these guys, incredible guys, I can't remember the exact group, so don't charge it to my head. Don't charge it to my heart, charge it to my head if I can't remember. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was Casting Crowns. Casting Crowns had a song called Slow Fade. And they basically said, be careful, little eyes, what you see. Be careful, little ears, what you hear. Like, be careful, little mouth, what you speak. Like, why? Why would you take careful intention of the things you allow to infiltrate your mind, your heart, and your soul? Why would you do that? Because the world in which we live in is so hard, you can slowly start to make decisions that are unbecoming of the very person that you hope and aspire to be. And then it becomes the slow fade to who you never wanted to be. And so you can actually wake up in this life and not recognize the person that you've become. And if you are under the sound of my voice and that's you say, I don't even like me. How could anybody else like me? I don't even like me. I don't like the choices I've made. I don't like the places I've gone. I don't like the things I've done. I don't like what I've become. If that's you, I want you to know that that's not the end of your story. One bad chapter does not define the book. Matter of fact, 7 bad chapters don't define the book. They don't. Matter of fact, if you want to keep going, we can have all bad chapters and yet find yourself having 1 or 2 good chapters at the end. Changes the entire way you see that story. So those bad chapters don't define you. And if you find yourself in that place where you've slowly faded, it don't happen overnight too. That's the thing. It's like, man, how did we get here? How did I become this person that I don't even like, nor do I love? How did I become this person that has become a menace, not only to society, but to my own self and to the people I love? How did we get here? It's a slow fade. And that slow fade comes by slowly little incremental shifts in behaviors, patterns, choices, and those little shifts, even though you're just a little bit off, think about, let's say, archery. And there's a bullseye, so there's a target you're shooting for, a bullseye. I'm trying to hit it right in the middle of that bullseye. And I shoot it, and I hit right in the middle. Well, eventually, I turn a centimeter. Unintentionally, my arm turns a centimeter. That centimeter moves me a little bit off. No big deal. I don't realize it. But I keep shooting, and every time I shoot, I'm a little centimeter off. Well, guess what? Eventually, over time, I realized that I'm now where I was hitting the bull's eye every time I shoot. Now I'm not even hitting the bore. My arrow is flying off into the abyss, into the unknown. Shout out to Disney. My arrow's flying out into the unknown. Okay, that happens. How did that happen? I'm not doing anything different. I'm literally shooting the exact same way I was shooting. Well, what happened was the little subtle incremental shifts in your posture, in your stance as you turn. Eventually, those littles add up to be a lot, and it slowly happened over time. And now you're not even nowhere near the target. You all in another stratosphere. And the challenge is for you to actually assess and reflect over your own life and to figure out where you at, though, for real. Where you at? Where are you really? Do you know? How did you get here? Do you know? What choices did you slowly start to make that were shifting away from who you really want to be, that were shifting away from your character? You know, I can't tell you how many people I know in this world that are like super kind people, but the world isn't a super kind place. So they live by the principles of kindness and compassion, which govern their interactions with the world around them. But people take that for granted. People take advantage of that. People spit on them. People tear them down. And so, yeah, there's one thing to defend yourself, but they go a step beyond it. They become just as cold or even colder than the very people that became cold to them so that they can match wits, so that they can feel better about themselves, yet then they feel worse about themselves because now they're being disingenuous. Now they're being inauthentic because that's not who they truly were. They just made these choices to try to keep up with the world around them, slowly fading into something they never intended to be. And now they don't even recognize the human being they've become. Maybe that person is you. Where have you allowed the world around you to subtly shift you into a lesser version of yourself or a version you never wanted to become? And if you're willing to be honest with yourself in this conversation, yeah, while it was a slow fade to go that way, we can now course correct. And you heard the joy I had in my heart and my soul, the introspection, the emotion I had. But that emotion was from a triumph of all the things that tried to break me and I didn't let them. And they tried to take me and I didn't let them. And I was able to build something monumental and special in spite in the very place that often tried to break me and shake me. And because of that, I have a joy in my heart of a return to the place that birthed me. I got a joy in my soul. And what I'm telling you is I want to challenge you to take stock of where you are, because I want you to have that same joy in your soul that I have when you return home. I ain't talking about no physical address. I'm not talking about no home, nor four walls, no state, city, zip code. I'm not talking about none of that. I'm talking about coming home to you. What is home? I just got a couple of notes here. Home is a place of comfort. A safe haven where people feel loved, protected, and at home. When I say come home, I'm talking about coming home to your safe haven, but the safe haven has to be inside of you. Okay, what does that mean? I'm talking about you creating a community, a situation, a circumstance inside yourself where kindness is the norm. You kind to the world, but you tear yourself down. You picking yourself apart. You're looking in the mirror saying horrible, hateful things to you that you wouldn't wish upon your worst enemy. Stop. You, your home, body, your place, your spirit, your soul has to be a place where comfort can happen, a place to be truly yourself, authenticity, a place where people can be fully who they are and genuinely accepted. You expect the world to allow you to be fully who you are and be accepted, but you don't accept you. You don't accept your quirks. You don't accept the things that make you uniquely you, that distinguish you from the rest of the world. How can you expect them if you're not being authentic to yourself, even when you're by yourself? It's time to come home. No more doing this for the world. It's time to come home. Home is a place of focus. It's a place where your domestic attention has to become your utmost priority and the place where your heart truly is. They say home is where the heart is. This, that one right here. Home is the place you focus on. Guess what? I have always said I refuse to be a hero to the world and a villain in my own home. What I'm saying is I refuse to give the world the best of me and to give those who matter most the rest of me. That means home is my place of focus first. My wife and my two boys, Rachel, Black, Marcus, and Grayson, Black, are my utmost priority first and foremost. And if coming back home means coming back to you, yourself, your soul, not what the world told you had to be, not what the hard knock life shifted and shaped you to become, if that is what coming home means, then I need you to focus internal. Quit focusing on what they said and what they did and what they told you on the news and what they told you on the internet and social media. What are you focused on? Focus on home, because that's where your heart truly is. And finally, home is a place of belonging and a place of identity, a place where people feel like this is where I'm meant to be, and a place where people reflect and say this is who I should have been. That's home. That's home. So my challenge to you, it's time to go to that place. It's time to go to the place that you were meant to be. It's time to be who you were meant to be. It's time to stop allowing the world to dictate who you show up as, how you show up. It's time to stop allowing the internet to make you feel like you're not enough, that you need to cut on your body. Oh, yeah, I said what I said. That you need to go tear yourself, rip yourself to shreds apart. That you need to paint yourself every which of color except for the one that you are. That you need to do everything in your power to be anything other than who you truly and naturally are. And I ain't saying nothing. I'm not vilifying or villainizing those people who choose to go and do those things. If that's what you so choose to do because that's what you want to do, great. But to the people who aren't in a position to do that, but you feel less than as a human on the planet because you aren't able to go and live up to a societal standard of what they tell you beautiful is, you need to cut it out. That price and what it's costing you, the peace that it's costing you is way too high, and you need to cut it. I said what I said. You, born into this world, were already gifted to be a unique masterpiece, and there's nothing else that you need that you don't already have. And so the perspective shift is that I'm not going there, and I'm not going there. I'm not going to Mars. I'm not going to outer space. I'm not going to the moon. I'm coming back home. And home is where my heart is, which is inside of me. And I'm going to be the person that I was created to be. And so the challenge for you, be you, 100% authentically, wholly, fully you, because that's the greatest gift you have to offer this world, is to be you, all of you, not some of you, but exactly who you were created to be in your most comfortable version of yourself, just doing the things that you want to do. So do the things you want to do, say the things you want to say, become the person you want to be, not who they tell you have to be, and build the life in the world and the legacy that you want to go create in the world, and go and make a massive impact by being the greatest gift, which is you. Be you because you can, serve the world because you can, silence the noise of what they told you because you can, and go and build your dream life, living a life that you love to live, because you can. Vitalize.